After that, we'll just take it from there. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, please. Okay.
My name is Adoye. The last class was basically introducing software testing, and our teacher made us to understand that software testing is simply when a software is built, an application is built, and it's given to a software tester to check, to find inconsistencies, like they have the actual outcome and the expected outcome from the software documentation. The tester checks it and ensures that to find bugs or to find the difference from the actual and the expected, and report those as bugs, and ensures that it meets the business requirements and also it meets the end user also requirement. And we talked about the software, we're talking about the stages of software, like talking about the stages of the software life cycle. Have the requirement cycle, you go to design, where you have the designer design, then you have the development cycle, where you have the front end and back end. Then you have the testers that comes in to test the software. Then it goes to production, to production, and it has different testing. And you have different testing methodologies, like unit testing, whereby the software the coders test the software, test their code, the functionality of their code as they build the application, not waiting until they finish, like using the waterfall mechanism. And they have the integration testing, whereby you test if, for instance, you're using an API, calling an API, how it works, whether it's responding. Then you have I think you have the next one. I think that's so far. And system testing too. I think that's what we learned, the best I can remember. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, so wow, that was loaded. So today what our focus is going to be basically on testing types and techniques. Testing types and techniques, and give me a minute, let me just share my screen. Sorry, 1 minute. I think I just realized I joined this call on one. Okay, no problem. That's fine. Okay, that's good. So let me know when you can see my screen. Yeah. So today, great. So today, we're going to be taking on the testing types and testing techniques, and I will start with our testing types. So I'll start with functional tests and non-functional tests. So I'm pretty sure, based on what you all discussed last week, most of what you all talked about will probably be based more on the functional tests, right? And based on that, we will be looking at this from a comparison kind of base. What are functional tests and what are non-functional tests? Your functional tests would basically be, let me look at it from a car's perspective. I think I like cars. I think that's where I'll take this from. So when you are looking at your car and you want to know that it works, right? You get in the car and you start the engine, and it's a car. You look around it, it has 4 tires, the headlights are working, and the AC is working and all that, right? So, okay, someone said I should zoom in on my screen. If I zoom in on my screen, okay, sure, 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 sure. Okay, so when we try our when we do our functional test, this is basically just us checking that the software itself, like it works as we expect it to work. Just the way you were saying, you want to check your requirements and that's what you expect and what you're actually seeing. So you want, if you start the car, it will start, right? If you click on a button, it's actually working. You pick up your laptop and you put it on, it's on. You type, you can type, right? But when we now start looking at it from the point of non-functional tests, this is going beyond just, oh, the laptop is working. We now have to start looking at things like performance and speed and security, things of that nature. So let's say, for instance, now some of us, we've actually found ourselves using laptops that for the thing to boot, it will take like 10 minutes. And you have another laptop that once you are booting it, before you know it, it's starting to put in password and you're already logged in. Both laptops are working. If we're actually saying, if we're actually looking at it from a functional perspective, both laptops are working. But when it comes to performance, we know that one is working better than the other. I don't know if you get the part I'm coming from right now. When it comes to performance, when it comes to speed, you get. So let's take, for instance, still based on this functional and non-functional tests, right? So let's take, for instance, now we have a very straightforward one with something like Jumia's website, right? And you are working on, you are part of the development team for Jumia's website, right? Let's say Charles, that's what you are currently working on. You're the one that was hunting bugs. I think I heard you clearly earlier. So everything is working as it should, right? You check, the person can add stuff to cart and the person can check out successfully and everything is fine. But let's say, for instance, we now end up having Black Friday and people are doing treasure hunts and all that. The traffic on your site is times 10, times 20, times 100, the usual traffic that you have. You get, and sometimes that could actually end up making everything slow. Depending on how bad the case gets, you could actually find yourself with with a site that will crash because it can't handle the traffic that's on it. So looking at it right now, we as QA engineers, which I believe everyone here is or wants to become, we are not just here to tick boxes, right? We are here to, like, apart from just checking that, okay, this functions as it should, you should also look out for the performance part of things. And apart from just the performance, there's also the security part. But these will be for those that would probably like go way further down the line. Security testing is a totally different section on its own. But ordinarily, for you as a tester, I would say you should not just cover for the functionality, right? You should also check out for your performance and speed, because it doesn't make any sense if your users get frustrated because your homepage takes forever to load. that kind of thing, you end up losing whatever, no matter how fine it is, you end up losing your customers. No matter how fine and beautiful your designer has made everything look, everybody knows that they will get pissed off when the website is not loading or is taking forever to load. And so that's for functional and non-functional testing. Please, if at any point you have a question, do not hesitate to call me back, right? So, or just raise your hand and get my attention. So, the next type that we're going to be looking at is black box testing. So, okay, before we jump into black box testing, I wanted to just point out a few things concerning functional and non-functional tests. So your regular functional tests, I believe some of us already have an idea what we do, right? I think each and every one of us at one point or the other has gotten their hands dirty, at least with the first class with functional tests. But for your non-functional tests, there are tools that we use for those. Right? Some of them would be so we have things like JMeter, we have things like even Postman, right? And but I believe that further down in this cohort, somebody's going to take you through your tools, stuff like that. So now moving on to black box test, right? Black box test. So black box. Why do we call it a black box? I will go back to cars again. Cars. I like cars. I really like cars. So let's take for instance Charles uses a black Toyota Camry, right? And this black Toyota Camry, like he has this very midnight black tinted glass on it. And when he parks in the market, like let's say it's a Balogun market, we don't even know that somebody is sitting inside the car. We just pass the car. Some people will use the car to give me room and that kind of thing. But on the other hand, looking at it, we are looking at the car and we can't see anything inside, right? We can't see anything inside. So I would say that is how I remember what black box testing is. Looking at the software that you're working on, but you do not know the inner workings. That's like you do not see the code that is actually behind everything. So for your black box test, you are practically just you are interfacing with just the client side of things, right? You are putting in your username, your password, you're clicking this, you're adding this to carts and stuff like that. And you don't really know, like, if the thing was built with Java or with C# or any other framework, probably .NET framework or whatever it is, you have absolutely no idea. For you, you are running your tests and everything is working for you right there, right? Then for the white box test, the white box test is, let's look at it from the car's perspective again. So my mom, she has a car and she doesn't believe in tinted glass thing. You understand? Like, we are passing the car, you are seeing everything in the car, you're seeing her handbag or somewhere, you're seeing water bottle on the other side, you're seeing this and that, you're seeing everything in the car, you're passing the car, right? In that case, that is looking at it from the point of you having intrinsic knowledge of the code, the logic, like every single thing there. So we can look at the black box test, like your usual functional test that you just do, and it's limited to just click, 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 type, click, right? Then the person that is doing the white box test that has deep knowledge of what is really going on is usually the developers, right? The developers and sometimes your test automation engineers, right? So in this case, probably what the person is doing is writing unit tests for the functions in the code, right? So that's for white box tests. Some of us hopefully would definitely get to that point of writing unit tests and all that. And although it's not really for everybody, and there's nothing wrong with if you do not write unit tests, but it will be something that I would say go for it if you can, but you will still have a wonderful time doing your work as a QA engineer. And that now brings me to a certain point. I'll call it the sweet spot in the middle. It's not here, but some people refer to it as gray box testing, right? So the gray box test, just like the name is a mixture of the black and the white, right? So in this case, I believe this is the point where I believe everybody on this call should get to that point of doing gray box testing. Why do I say this? You that's doing gray box testing, you know more than just what the person that is doing a black box test knows. And you might not know every single thing in the code aspect of things, but the logic and other things involved, you have an understanding of it, right? So let's take, for instance, when you now get to the point of testing your APIs, right? It's you have a deeper knowledge than the person that is just they just call somebody in and just come and click through and look at this site. Is it fine? Is it good? Is it okay? And the person doesn't actually know beyond that point. But when you are now probably like testing the APIs, that's let me just put it like the link between your backend and your front end kind of interface. So when you're testing these, you have a better understanding of both the logic and other things involved in the application. So I will work on, I will try and get this thing slide, probably put this things in a PowerPoint package so that, and I'll share it with you guys before the end of this cohort. Just something you can always make reference to. Yeah, I will do just that. So that's for gray box. Not every text would mention gray box testing, but yeah, it's a thing. So I think the next part that we'll now run into. Okay, hi Victor.
Good evening. Yeah. So who does gray box test? You know, you said the for black box is done by testers, white box developers. So who does the gray box testing?
You, the QA engineer, you will do that. And I don't want you to just stop at black box, right? Because I would say the black box testing is more like you know when you know, when probably there's a beta version on App Store and they want you, probably are one of those that are approached to just test this thing for us. You get, you're not going to have a deeper understanding, like beyond just that interface that you're interacting with, right? But when you now are privy to testing both that interface and the APIs behind it, you have a better understanding. Although you are not seeing the code in itself, right? But you have a deeper understanding than the person that is just doing black box testing. I don't know if oh, great. So if there's any other question, please do not hesitate to ask. So now let's move on to regression testing. This is the, what I call it, the nightmare of every QA engineer. Okay, if I use the word nightmare, it will sound scary, but yeah, regression is that thing that you don't like doing. You do not like doing it. It's so regression testing, right? Regression testing is like testing every single thing from beginning to the end. I'll explain, right? And we have retesting, like based on what you're seeing here. We have regression testing and we have retesting, right? So let's say, for instance, Victor, I report a bug, right? And you are the developer, you fix it. I come back and just check, okay, this thing that he has fixed it, oh, that's fine. You get, that's, I will call that retesting. Let's say Charles did something and made a fix, and I just go and check, oh, Charles, for some reason, betas and stuff was actually showing on the website. This is something we shouldn't be seeing. And he takes it off and all that, and I just come and just check, oh, that's fine. Probably it could be any other issue or bug that we've raised, that kind of thing. That's just basic testing, right? And that just retesting to make sure that, oh, that thing has been fixed. Oh, that thing is fine. Oh, that module, they've put it together, is okay, right? But when we now talk about regression, and as much as possible, do not run away from a regression test. No matter what, do not run away from regression test. Why is this? So let's say, for instance, Victor, while he's making the change, right? And he merges his code and everything. There's a high tendency that whenever somebody introduces something new, something else might break. I don't know if people would like get where I'm coming from. Everything, let's say, who played with Legos and building blocks as kids? Or even say, okay, let's just go straight to the one that everybody is doing these days. What do you call it? Is it Jenga or some stuff like that? The one that's like we keep putting this plank and this one and that one, like everything good. So let's take that game like as it is. There's a very high tendency that the minute somebody introduces that other piece of wood from one side, everything could just go south. Everything could just scatter. That kind of stuff. So it's the same thing with code base. Somebody introducing something new, no matter how good it is and how beautiful, probably the dog code review and all, it could actually be affecting something else adversely. Okay? So let's take, for instance, when we told Victor about the issue that he was to fix, right? He decided to fix it. After fixing the issue, he didn't know that the fix that he made, that component is used by 2 or 3 other modules, right? And he made the fix like he was just doing it for, okay, let's say for instance, there are 3 modules here. There's the I don't want to go into, okay, there's the let's take Jumia website right now. We all know what Jumia website looks like. And somebody reports that, oh, there's this error here, right? Probably there's this bar that is scrolling, or there's something else that is right there. He makes the change to that particular thing, but not knowing that when we move from Black Friday screen to tech day promo or something like that, that same component, the only thing that just happens is it changes, but it's still same component as several modules use it. Then he makes that change, and he makes it so that it's tailored to just the Black Friday module alone. When we now move to let's say Samsung this thing or something, he's still showing us Black Friday stuff. If all you did was retest, right? If all you did was retest, you would get there and just see, oh, Black Friday is working fine. But it's during a regression, checking every single thing afterwards, that you now realize that, wait, though, Black Friday has been fixed, it's working. But that Black Friday is now showing in everything. Everything has turned to Black Friday. Samsung this thing page has become Black Friday. Adidas page has become Black Friday. This has become like that kind of thing. So that's why we do a regression test. You don't just retest and just stop there and say, oh, everything, like he did this, he has fixed it, and we just proceed. Whenever there's a change, whenever something new is introduced, you have to start from the beginning. It sounds weird, yes, but you start from logging. I'm actually log. You start from user creation, test everything all the way down to the end of it. But some things have been done, or things have advanced to a point where it gets easier. I believe someone else will talk about this, but I'll just brush on it. So that's where test automation comes in to make regression faster, right? Because believe me, if both of us should test something manually, you can actually spend more than 3 days testing Jumia website. If we pick up the test script and start going after it one after the other and begin to tick one that's passing and one that's failing, we can spend a whole week there. But that's where test automation comes in, and all those things that both your fatigue and your tiredness and everything is taken care of, because the computer is doing a test for you. But I won't go down that path. It's something for later. So I've discussed regression testing, and I've discussed retesting. Okay. So the next point, which is our this exploratory versus ad hoc. Exploratory versus ad hoc. The funny thing is that this is something that I'll say all of us do. This is something that all of us do. How do I mean? So so this is more like of them are not necessarily structured. Yeah, both of them are not necessarily structured. you are not going to carry your test script to start checking everything. But for your exploratory tests, right? This is more like based on your knowledge of the application, right? We just come in and okay, we just slide through. We want to look at payments. We want to look at is this thing even converted as it should? That kind of thing. They are just like the name says, exploring. Hmm? But when we now come to the one that we call ad hoc is more like a random spot check kind of thing. And for me, I'll say ad hoc, our goal when it comes to ad hoc is we want to break the application. We want to break it. We want it to spoil. Let's be honest with ourselves. If you are, God have mercy, if you are a QA engineer, if you will be so happy when you see things spoil. That's the truth. Let's call it a spade. You'll be very, very happy when there's gbese and you found the gbese. And you're like, yes, it has scattered. Today's today, they have cooked beans. So that's beside the point. But the thing there is, our aim when it comes to ad hoc testing is randomly. Don't even try to, like, I'm not trying to, okay, I know that if I'm supposed to make a transfer on this bank app, I should put 5, 2, 3, that kind of thing. But I just want to test it like I don't have brain. We put in things that are not supposed to be put in the places where I'm putting them. You understand that kind of thing? I'm just looking for trouble. That kind of thing. And the funny thing is that in looking for trouble, sometimes we actually find things that nobody expected to be there. Like ordinarily, let me say, for instance, there was somebody that talked about something a few years back, and he told me that you will not believe that he put a figure that was just randomly testing. He put a figure that was way more than what was in the balance, and the thing processed the payment. Like he was working with one of those this thing payments things. Funny thing, it was in a foreign Oyibo people. So they also make mistakes. Don't be thinking that because of the Oyibo they are smart. He put a figure that was way more than the figure that exists in the balance, and it processed the payment. So imagine if that thing got out, and a bunch of us, let me say, like me now, small boy, 5K is in my account, and I now put like 500,000, and the thing goes through. Everybody would, in fact, it would be a big loss for the company might even fold. The company might even fold at the end of the day, that kind of thing. So this brings me back to the importance of our role in real sense. I'm pretty sure people heard different stories, even the one of last year, the one that happened to Microsoft and all that. Our role is very, very important. We are the ones that actually safeguard everything. You're more like, I don't know, those of you that's Lord of the Rings, Gandalf, thou shalt not pass. That is you. You shouldn't allow any of those things get to the production environment. That's That's why you are there. You are the landlord, caretaker, and everything. So back to where I was, ad hoc testing. Yes. So in ad hoc testing, our aim is to look for trouble. Our aim is to break it. We are not following instruction. Designer has put it there that your password should be minimum of 6 characters and maximum of 14 characters. Carry 20 characters and put inside. If they're saying, oh, this is where you should, yes, instructions are like they're priming you, they're telling you do this, do that on the application. Do the opposite. Look for trouble. Don't be obedient. Just do whatever you want to do, and let us see if the app will survive it. If the app will stand. That's how we do ad hoc testing. I just press anything. Even when it is not time to press it, just press it. That kind of thing. So that's for ad hoc testing. Then exploratory test is more like, oh, James, hi, welcome. Please ask me a question.
Yeah, yes. Can we say ad hoc test is more like brute force?
Okay. So if you say brute force, what comes to my mind is DDoS attack. But that's a different case. But okay. If we're saying brute force, so I wouldn't want to use that word brute force. I would want to look at it more like, because if you say brute force, it will look like we are really attacking. Okay, well, okay, that's fine. You could say brute force. You could say brute force. Yeah, you could say brute force. It's just that what caught my mind is there's this denial of service attack that people do. So what they do is the kind of simulate, which is something you can do with this your tool, with one of those tools I talked about for performance test, where you simulate 1,000 users and all that kind of stuff. So I can decide to simulate 10,000 users hitting a certain endpoint at the same time. Definitely, when I do that, and it's not actually human being, this is me using a tool to simulate that. And when I'm now doing that, the regular people that are supposed to access your site cannot access it. You see that the site crashes or it loads forever. People do that kind of stuff, but there are different ways people handle it. So they do things like probably limit the number of calls that can come from an API, an IP address or stuff like that. So yeah, but I think I'm going to another place. Let me not carry us to another place. But yeah, so you can say brute force, yes. Something unstructured, something that doesn't follow the norm, right? You're not looking at it from, I know this application, this is how this application should behave. You understand? You're just going at it anyhow. King Kong, no problem. Yeah. Brute force goes, yes. You can say brute force, yes. You're correct. So I think next question is from GD Films. Hi. GD Films, please ask your question. You have your hands raised.
Hello. Hello, good evening.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening. So
Yeah.
as you mentioned ad hoc, okay. I wanted to know what is the difference between one who is doing ad hoc and the person who is doing cybersecurity, and the other person who is doing coding, trying to test his coding to see if it works. Because I think I hear a few of my friends who are doing coding mention the same thing, but more so that they try to hack into I think he mentioned something like red coding and white coding, something like that. And people who are doing the red coding, they try to hack into what if the program to show if it's stable. Is it the same thing with ad hoc? Is it the same process?
No, no. So it's not. So the ad hoc test in itself, right? It's more like a functional test, and we could put it on the black box side of things, right? So I'm just coming at the interface without guardrails, without the instructions and all that. I'm just coming at you to just let's see what happens. I come to Jumia and um I start to add everything I'm seeing on the page to cart. Let's see what will happen. You understand that kind of thing? And so I think your cybersecurity guys probably what they were saying to you was black hat, white hat, kind of this thing. Yeah, ethical hacking, exactly. So that is totally different. That's a very different topic altogether, and that's in itself would fall under that would fall under non-functional tests, the security side of things. Yeah, that's what that would fall under. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
Hi.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, you're welcome. Hi, Victor.
Good evening.
Victor,
Yeah, so can I say that
yeah.
ad hoc testing is an informal way of testing? Or can I like probably without there won't be any test cases, no documentation or whatsoever. So can I say that it's an informal way of testing?
Yeah.
Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
So
Yes. It's an informal way of testing. The thing is, so ad hoc and exploratory, they look alike. Why am I saying they look alike? They look alike because both of them are unstructured. You're not going to carry a test script and start going through it, right? But where the difference is that for exploratory tests, you are testing like someone that has knowledge of the application, right? And you're not following a particular structure. You're just going, okay, let me just go straight to this module. And okay, from here, you just jump and go to another module altogether, that kind of thing. It's not like it's planned. But for the ad hoc person, you're like a baby that they gave mobile phone. They are pressing anything. You get the difference now. For the person that is an exploratory test, the person knows, okay, this is what this application does. Okay, let's just check the different modules. Although we are not planning, we're not following a certain plan or a certain structure or these test cases or stuff like that. We're just, okay, let's just open it, check out if we can even upload our own picture in the profile, stuff like that, random stuff. But for the ad hoc person, he doesn't even know if you're uploading it. He's just looking for trouble. That kind of thing. So that's both of them are unstructured. But one person, the one that is exploring is doing okay, let's just check this out. Let's check this out. Random spot checks. Let's check this out. Let's see if this is happening. Let's see if that is happening. Without a test plan, right? But the ad hoc person is all over the place. Just all over the place. Just looking for anything. That kind of stuff. So I can just come in and let's see if I'm not even trying to say let us see, let's just keep it. Click anything. Let it break. If they can't handle it, that means that they did something wrong somewhere. So, yeah. So that's for those. And Huh. Okay. So I
I'm
think
sorry, I have a question.
I've closed out. Oh, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, so when you explained ad hoc, I understood when
Mm.
you said it's like a random testing phase, something random. But when the question for the brute force came on, you said, because I'm thinking now to myself after from the first lecture that software testing is generally like, brute force, trying to break something to see if it works, whatever is thrown at it, making sure that it's working the way it should work, right? So I feel like software testing is like a code name for brute force, sort of. But when you're attributing it now to ad hoc, it's confusing me because I think these are just like different styles of doing it. But when you're attributing like what I'm thinking software testing is as a whole to one particular style is confusing me. Do you understand my question?
So
Hello?
Again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I was saying that I will try to answer your question, but just in case I'm not hitting the point properly, call my attention to what I'm saying.
Okay.
So yeah. So looking at it, right? Um what I'm explaining right now, hmm, I'm not saying or like when you're doing this, don't do this. Or when you're doing this, do not do this. Right? Um yes, as we are as QA engineers, there are different ways that we are going to ascertain that this product is ready to go live, right? We have um, at least, okay, down this thing, we'll definitely write some test cases before we close today. But let's say we have an application and we want to test it and we have a test plan, like everything is down and we follow it. Hmm? There's nothing that stops us from I wake up in the middle of the night. Something just crossed my mind. I just woke up in the middle of the night. I said, let me check this out. That's more like exploratory. I've finished with my
Okay.
test cases, but something just hits me. What if I do this and do this and do that? What will happen?
Yeah.
Do you get me now? And
Yes.
I just wake up, pick up my phone, open the test app, and go through. To satisfy my conscience. Okay, that means this thing works fine. These are that kind of thing can happen to you randomly. I'm just speaking from my
Yeah.
own um experience. So I can just wake up and just be like, so what if this person does this? What will now be the outcome? I pick up that's more like exploratory. I know what the application does, right? I know how it's supposed to behave. I just want to like check something else in my head. I can afterwards add that thing I just checked to my test cases. It is fine. So that whoever that is testing later, or even if it's still me, we still keep testing for those things. And just let me not miss this. Just let me put a pin on what I was saying. Just in case I miss or whenever you find a bug, hmm, whenever you find a bug, add that particular whatever happened at that point to your test cases. Do you get? Apart from okay, we found this bug, it has been treated and everything is fine. But make sure that that particular scenario is added to your test cases. I'm just saying this so that it's just something that just crossed my mind. So that whatever happens in the future, somebody's still checking for that thing. It could break later, it could to scatter tomorrow, that kind of thing. So somebody's still checking for that thing. So whatever bug you find at any point in time, make sure you have it added to the test cases for future use. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Now, like I said, I could practically just think of something and open the app, look through just to confirm that then happens as it should. And that's fine, right? But for the ad hoc test, the ad hoc test is more like, let me paint a scenario. I joined your office today. Let me say you work for this fintech that does remittance and straight pay. I work for straight pay. I find myself in straight pay. I don't know what the app looks like. I don't know how it works. Right? But that very first day, I just come in, I pick up the application and start pressing. I don't know, nobody is telling me this is this or this is that, or before I even get documentation and somebody onboards me and all that, I just pick it up and I just want to start looking for trouble in the application. That's ad hoc. I'm not thinking of, oh, let us check if this or let's check. No, I'm just going at it without test case, without thoughts, without this thing. I see a form to fill, and I decide to submit the form without filling the required fields. That's my choice. That kind of thing. So I just come at it without proper or prior knowledge of the system, with the aim of I just want this thing to scatter. I want this thing to break. How would I put it now? It's more like what I don't know if you've attended any of these events where they say we're doing bug hunt, right? We're doing bug hunt, and the team that finds the highest number of bugs will win 500K. That's not time to start writing test case. You don't even know what the application is. You just jump on top of it and start scattering everything. Everybody down, install the application on your phone and begin to scatter. That's basically what we're doing at that point. I don't know if I answered your question, Olivia.
Yes, it's much clearer.
Okay, thank you. Esther, hi.
Okay, hello.
Hi, Esther, on your query. Good.
Yeah, hello. Okay, if I understand you correctly, can I say what's the word? Okay, can I say exploratory testing is testing without preconceived notions, like the test without test cases? For
So that was why I said the two of them are similar in this part of being unstructured. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, they are similar in the sense of being unstructured, but at the same time, one of them is done with some knowledge of the application, that kind of like prior knowledge or some stuff like that. The other one is not, you are not looking at it from the point of I know what this does, or I have a full understanding of what has been explained. You just go at it. So let me run you through another scenario. Probably this would help. So let's say, for instance, now back to that fintech straight pay. I find myself doing that thing at the beginning. I'm just clicking away. That is ad hoc. But when I've joined the team, they've introduced me as QA engineer. Then they do the onboarding. Somebody walks me through the entire process. Like, oh, this is this, this is that, this is that, this is this. And after that, I now say, let me go and see for myself. There's the way I approach it is now different because I have knowledge. I know, like, if I'm opening a module right now, I know what that module is for. That kind of thing. Unlike when I'm just opening and clicking every single thing that I see with reckless abandon. I don't know if you get the difference between the two.
Yes.
So one of them, I have some knowledge on, like someone has probably given me some knowledge. I've read some documentation and stuff like that. The other one, just let's go at it. Bring knife, bring this. Let us scatter everything. Karen, good evening.
All right, good evening. So I wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
Is the ad hoc for beginners like us? Like, is it just stated that, okay, as you begin this practice, you have to start from ad hoc, or do professionals also run through ad hoc? Because I'm in my head now, I'm thinking, how can someone who already have an idea of all of this kind of like feign ignorance just run the ad hoc test? I don't know if it's possible. Or how do you do that if you're already experienced?
No
Sorry, I
matter
can't hear you.
whether you. So we do all of them, no matter how many years on the job that you have. You could find yourself doing any of them, right? Just like I said earlier. So we have, let me say, for instance, now, I could call you. We're all in one community, right? Work joke. And I'm like, oh, Karen, help me check this thing out, right? We
Okay.
worked on something, and I just want you to go through this thing. What do you think?
Oh, okay.
I didn't give you any documentation. Do you get?
All right.
I didn't give you any
All right.
documentation. I just give you this thing. What do you think about what we've done? And you want to look at it critically. You tear the thing down. Like, come at it without asking questions. Tear the whole thing down. And the next thing is either you call me and tell me congratulations, you did a good job. You call me and tell me
Okay.
you don't scatter. You understand?
All right.
You've broken it successfully. Yeah. So
All right. Okay.
it's not a thing of whether you're a beginner or you're not a beginner. Everybody does every type of test.
All right.
All of us as trained engineers, everything on the list we do all, basically.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, get the films again. Yeah. This guy.
All right. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I have two questions. How do you personally distinguish
sure.
between when a tester how do you personally distinguish between when a tester is just finding bugs and when they are they are actually adding strategic value to a product? Did you get me? Hello?
Okay. I can hear you. I got you. I got you. So you
That's the
said
first question.
that's the first question. Okay, when a tester is just finding bugs and when they are adding value to your product. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. What's the next question?
The second question is, how do we, when you randomly check for ad hocs to see if the software, whatever you're working on, is faulty, okay, trying to look for trouble, how can one stay very strategic, not to, so we can document each phase, because sometimes we might do and find out issues, and we don't get to document what we actually have to solve. How can we work on that so that when we are trying it, we're not going to make mistake, or we'll not ignore what is to be taken care of? Did you get the question?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's yeah, like for the ad hoc part, right? When the person is doing stuff, like whatever he's doing, documenting what his findings, right? Hello, did I get you right? Um, please, if
I think
anyone
that's
can
what
hear
he
me,
said.
could you just
I think
okay,
that's
that's what
what
he
he
said.
said.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I would I'll start with the first one. You telling the difference between when your tester is just finding bugs and when he's adding value. Okay. So so for this particular part, I would say this is more like something I would have loved to discuss a little later, but I think just like testers that you are already thinking about the scenarios. So for a tester that is just finding bugs, um, we will definitely know. Why would I say we will definitely know? This is the kind of person that what he's just doing is he takes his task from the Jira board, and that's the end. But when you have a QA engineer that is part and parcel of the team, like you own your product, right? The difference is very clear because this person is not just about finding bugs, but he's more on the path of let's say process improvement, right? He's giving suggestions. You are a better QA engineer when you are not just finding fault, but you are also preferring solutions to the issues that you found, right? There's a big difference between those that just find bugs and those that join in debugging, right? There's a difference between those that find bugs and those that are like, oh, during sprint planning or stuff like that, like, why don't we do this way? Or you can actually go through your requirements and ask questions based on what's on the requirements. Everything must not just go hook, line, sinker. You are supposed to look at, oh, this, what if we do it like this? What if we do it like that? That question that you might have might be what will change the entire flow of things. I remember there was something that there was a team that I worked with a while back, and something that they were introducing. They were doing all that and everything. And at some point, I just had to ask, wait, what we are doing is fine. It's beautiful. This integration makes a whole lot of sense. But have we looked at it from the compliance perspective? Do you get, like, Like there are some things that you can do these days that people can sue you for very funny things, and they'll walk away with hundreds of millions because of what you violated privacy. So that thing that we are doing, we just have to go inside terms and conditions and this thing, privacy statement and all that, and carry that clause and put inside. Because you'll be shocked. You think there's some people that don't read your terms and conditions. Like when you are opening your Apple and this thing and their stuff is looking like 99 constitution, as long as something you can't finish. Some people take time and read everything, and if you are defaulting in one of them, that's where they'll carry you to court and they'll cash out. I think there was something. Okay, this is totally unrelated, but I think somebody sued Red Bull because of Red Bull didn't give him wings, and their ad was saying Red Bull gives you wings, and the person walked away with millions. That kind of thing. So, what am I saying? You are not just in the team to find bugs, right? I can take myself for instance, because of how involved I get, I won't find myself in the other day I had to write a report to legal through copied my PM and others, reasons why we will not be going ahead with the particular vendor. And that is you being an integral part of the team, because tomorrow, let's say for instance, that guy that probably nobody feels his presence or absence in the team. If we want to lay off, if they even lay the person off, nobody will even think twice that somebody left the team. But there's a way you'll be part of the team that we can't even have a meeting without inviting you. Like when the meeting has started, this person is not here, dial him in. But there's some people that are not on that call and nobody cares that are not there because the person doesn't contribute jack. You get, so there's, I think I've gone too far, but I don't know if I've made my points clear for the very first one. The second question you asked was about this thing, the ad hoc aspect of things. And so concerning that, right? While you're doing the ad hoc test, yes, it gets a bit tricky documenting your findings, but so it now depends on what your end goal is, right? Like when I said this thing, let's say we went for a bugathon and they shared us into like how many teams, right? And the team that found the highest number of bugs win 500K. Most definitely, if as we are running that ad hoc test, we are carefully noting things down. Like you want your if it is probably something that I could do is I do it sometimes. Even today I still did it. I was running through a process, but just because of I didn't know what the outcome was going to be like, I put the best device on screen record because there's some funny bugs that it will happen. Then when you now come to reproduce it, you cannot find it again. Like you will try, you can't see it again, but you know, and you can go anywhere and I saw this thing happen. There's some cases where something could happen, and is that recording that is the proof that thing actually happened. You understand? And in such cases, I could say, personally, I could do that screen recording, like for my own distance, so that whatsoever it is, I can always just pick out the video, trim it, and send to the developer. See what the thing is, because sometimes if you even try to say it with mouth, it's not making sense. Like you're saying when a user does that, and the user changes his mind and just decides to do this and do that. Like writing it sometimes doesn't doesn't add up. You just have to like, okay, screenshot, okay, screen recording, something like that. And when the person sees it, the person can totally understand what is going on there. So that could help in itself. So what I'll say is define what it is, what your end goal is. That will determine your approach. If our own is just my friend dared me that if I hear say you find anything for this app, I'll give you 50K. That kind of thing. I will just keep pressing anything till once the thing just crash. I'm not documenting anything. As the thing just crash, I'll just carry the phone and show him that scatter. That kind of thing. Give my 50K. The approach will be different when I'm doing a bogathon and I have to record, like write down my findings and all that. So it all comes from what is the end goal. That will determine how you approach it. Yeah. So I think there was someone else. I think Esther had her hands up. Probably we've answered that question.
All right, thank you very much.
So Esther Moses, I think we've answered the question, right?
Yes, sir, you have. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Woo. So let's dive into the next part of this class. So we have test case design techniques. The first part we handled was testing types, right? So let's do test case design techniques, and okay, let me figure out a way to approach this. So let me click on this. Okay. Let me come at it from equivalence partitioning, then we'll move to boundary value analysis. So for equivalence partitioning, so the thing here is, first is we do not have the luxury of resources and time, basically, and to make sure that we cover every part at the end of the day, we will use this technique. This technique is more like so we are grouping. Let's say we have a set of inputs, right? We are grouping these inputs into sections, and each section, everything that is in that section is has same characteristics or similar in one way, right? So let's take it. So let's say, for instance, right now, we have give me something. Let's say, for instance, we have a set of, okay, Oluwayemisi, go ahead. I was thinking you wanted to join me in the explanation. So got your hand quite fast. So let's take, for instance, we have an input, right? This password right now, let's say this password can only take minimum of 6 characters, maximum of 14 characters, something like that. And so let's say we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, Sorry, 16, 17, 20, and so on and so forth. Okay. What excuse? I guess I want to make it visual so that I think the next set of things that we're going to look at actually have to see it to fully understand it. So, okay. So we know that everything from here to here, right? This is the legit part. The password must be 6, minimum of 6, maximum of 14. So we can call these guys the green points, the valid guys, right? Then these guys are red. The invalid guys, right? So what we do in equivalence partitioning, right, is that for us to test, we don't have to come and start doing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. All you have to do is pick one from this group, pick one from the next group, let's say, and pick one from the next group, says this, right? That's equivalence partitioning. So this guy is a representative of everything here. This guy is a representative of everything here. This guy is a representative of everything here. I don't know if you guys are getting me. If I'm not making it as clear as possible, let me know. So when you have data that is this plenty, we don't have to write for when the input is 0, when the input is 1, when the input is 2, when the input is 3, when it is 4. You can just end up having only 3 scenarios or 3 test cases out of something as enormous as this. You get me? So that's equivalence partitioning. The thing there is making sure that as we are partitioning them, whatever these guys, whatever is here, whatever is in each partition is having similar qualities. Hi, Adwayne. Please go ahead, ask your question.
Sorry, I said this equivalence partition, I don't really get it, but I'm guessing. This is my guess. I feel okay. Let's say an app. Yes, let's also get an app. Let's say it has a login button. Let's say it has a login button. It has maybe a checkout button. It has another button. Let's say a buy now button. It has another button. Say a see more button. See, these are all our buttons. You may just test for checking the functionality of the login button. And if the login button works, maybe you don't need to go and checking if the logout, the other buttons are working, or maybe the colors. I don't know if I'm correct or I'm really following your point.
I think I missed out something while I was so. This is keyword input, right? Our keyword is input.
Okay.
So you will still test your login button, test your logout button, test everything as you're supposed to test, right? But this is more like you can have data sample that is as large as, let's say you have 1 million customers. You have 1 million customers. We are not going to start testing them one after the other, right? What we would do is group them into classes, into samples. So let's say we can pick customers that let's say customers that have that are between the age of 18 and 25. 18 and 25. You have another set of customers that are 25 to 40, right? That kind of thing, and so on. Like, you kind of like, what we are doing here is we are grouping them. When we group them, what we now do is I can pick just one person at random from this set. I can pick one person at random from this set. I can pick one person at random from another set. You got what I mean? So the thing there is more of a an input thing, a data thing. So if I'm working with that large chunk, all I just need to do is group them into partitions, right? Something, then pick something, a representative from that part, a representative from that part, representative from that part. So let's say probably let me try something else. So let's say that somebody has, okay, let's say I have somebody should give me something, anything. Let's take okay, let's say pizza. Let's say pizza on my so we want to give this thing pizza to some people based on their purchase. Let me say this Domino's app right now. And if you buy 10, if you buy between 1 to, let's say 1 to 5 cartons, you are not getting any pizza. You're not getting any what do you call it, discount. Discount is only for people that are from 6 to 10, right? Or okay, I think let me look at it from, okay, we will only give, it's Children's Day. It's Children's Day. We are going to give May 27th is Children's Day. We are going to give pizza to only those that are qualified. And those that are qualified are children that are from 5 years and above, right? From 5 years and above. That means that babies, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Then we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 16. By 17, I can't be calling you a child again. We have 17, 18, and so forth, right? So if I want to test, if I want to test this input, like this set of people, right? All I need to do is, if we are going to give somebody visa, all we just need to check is, does the person fall into this or fall into this or fall into this? This category are the people that we will not give. This category we will also not give. But anybody that falls into this, we will give. And to test it out, let's say it's an automated this thing is an automated machine that is deciding who to give. I'm not going to come and start to test the machine. I will not come and start doing 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm waiting for the response of 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. All I need to do is I just come randomly, check for 3. It says the person is not valid. Then the next thing I do is from this side, look for 10. The person falls within the range, even visa. You understand? Then we check for 17. We're not going to come and start checking everything. To come and start putting 1, 2, 3 to wherever the number ends, 200, 2 million, 200 million. Let's say somebody gets to that age. But we will not start. All we just need to do is create partitions. This side is for people that are less than this. This side is for people that are more than this. And this is the valid point here. This is the valid point here. So just pick one out of this to test it. Pick one out of this to test this. Pick one out of this to test this. I don't know if what I said makes sense.
It does. It does. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, there was someone else that had a hand raised, or him. I didn't really. I know that someone else had a hand raised. I just didn't get the name. Okay. So let's go for Olivia, and then there's somebody's name that keeps popping up. I looks like my name. Something Okam.
James Ukam.
I'll
I'm
catch you
saying it.
today. James Okam. Exactly. Aha. Good. Okay. Olivia first, then Okam will take
Okay.
your question.
So I understand what you explained, but something just popped into my mind. Like, you tell us what we will use to test this thing later, right?
No.
Hello?
I got you. So so the thing here is what we're trying to do now is techniques. What we're doing now is techniques. These techniques are things like things that will make life easier for you as a tester. If so, in a situation where you have a data set that is 200, to make life easier for yourself, group them. You get them? Group them. So you know the condition that is pass and the condition that is fail. Based on what you have a data set of 200, and we want just people that are let's say people that are, we want only children from that data set. Like it's only children that we are going to give things to. And if the person is not a child, why do I keep going to children? Let me look for something else. Okay, let me look for something controversial. So we have a data set of 200 people. We group them into male, female, and trans. And the only people that are eligible for this are those that are trans. I hope I'm not offending anybody in this culture, but this is just an example. And so in that case, when we group them, so let's take for instance, this is male, this is female, and this is everybody that is transgender. For us to now run our tests, like for us to write our test cases, instead of lining everybody up on this call, let me say me, I'm trans, and Sean is male, Esther is female, that kind of thing. Instead of lining everybody up and start testing them one after the other, just group them, pick one person out of each group. So in that case, you have to only run through this iteration only 3 times instead of running it for 200 people. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying right now. So the main thing there is the input. You are grouping the inputs based on similarities. Everywhere is quiet. Please talk. Have I
We're trying
lost you
to
guys?
understand it.
I don't understand anything here.
We're trying.
Who is talking?
We're trying. We're
You're
trying.
trying. Okay. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Please. Okay.
I'm
Let's
trusting the
start afresh.
process.
Let's start
Okay, sir. Please,
afresh.
just a suggestion. Can we get like a definition? Maybe it's something will enter.
Yeah, because it's like everything is just in our brain. Abby,
Yeah.
Esther.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, you're really doing
Okay.
great. You're really doing great. Thank you, sir.
Hmm. 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 Okay. So how do I define this now? So okay, let me use Google definition. You guys can see my screen, okay? Since that's let's go there. Equivalence partition, right? So this is a software testing technique where input data is divided into groups based on their expected behavior, right? Each partition represents a class of inputs that should produce the same outcome, right? Are we on the same page right now?
Okay, yeah.
Right?
We can keep going. Let's see where you're
Yeah,
going with
let's
this.
You get it? Okay, great. So by testing one representative value from each partition, you can ensure a wide range of inputs are covered without needing to test every single possible value. You get what I'm saying now? So it's just like what I was saying, that we divide these inputs into partitions based on their expected behavior. And based on this expected behavior, let's say, okay, let me see if I can pull out any of this. Okay, let's see if we can look at this. Loading. Better open. That's good for you.
Nigerian internet.
Okay, so let's say, assume we have a test to find assume we have a test that we have to test a field which accepts ages 18 to 56, right? So let's say what we have to put into this place is, for it to be valid, it has to be between 18 and 56, right? We don't have to come and start typing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 56 or 200, right? So what we will do is 18 to 56 is the valid input. That is one partition. Less than 18 on this side, less than equal, or this is less than equal to 17 here. On this side is greater than or equal to 57 on this side. So all we need to do to test this input field right now is not to come and start putting 1, it didn't work, 2, it didn't work, 3, it didn't work, 4, it didn't work. Pick 1 out of this side, pick 1 out of this side, and pick 1 out of this side. So you will just run it 3 times only, and you're done with testing the input for this place. I don't know if that makes sense right now.
Makes sense.
Yes, I think
Everywhere has gone
we're
quiet.
I know I think we're on the way to understanding, because I struggled with, that's why I asked, like, when you
Sure,
finish
sure.
explaining, I understand the theory of it, but I was looking for the practical of it.
Yeah. Okay, for the practical of it. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So in this kind of situation now, I don't need to come and start putting 1 to 200. You get, just pick 1 out of this. Pick 1 out of this and pick 1 out of this. Yeah. So
Yes.
because I purposely wanted us to start with equivalence partitioning before I do boundary value analysis.
Okay.
You get, it's your understanding of this one that will now help us with boundary value analysis. If you understand this one properly, boundary value analysis is straight up. I think most of us, our problem was we were reading it as text when we were writing ISTQB. The whole thing was flying in our head. But yeah. So the thing here is, if you understand this, the next part we are going to go to is going to be quite straightforward to grab. So does anybody have any other question concerning this equivalence partitioning before I move on to boundary value analysis? Okay, that's fine. So now moving on to boundary value analysis. Just like what I said here, test at the edges. So what we do at this point is, for each partition, you see this 1 to 4. You see this 5 to 16. And you see this 17 onwards. What we are going to do is, we are going to try playing with the people at the boundary. You know how we have issues with the Cameroon border and all that. We don't know if those guys are at Bakassi, if they are Nigerians or Cameroon people. Today they are Nigerians, tomorrow they are distant. So most of the time, your issues, your issues kind of fall around that boundary side. Your bugs, they hide around there. Why am I saying this? So let's take, for instance, now I'm supposed to give somebody, let me say I'm supposed to, someone that's less than 18 years shouldn't have a driver's license or shouldn't have a voter's card. Then you have somebody that he did his birthday in December or last month. He's 17, but he's 17 years plus, but he's not yet 18. I hope getting the drift now. Just a thumbs up will do. Thank you. So what we are doing is we are testing at the boundaries, at the edge, to see what happens. So sometimes it's when it's at that edge, that boundary side, that things can slip through. So apart from just looking at maybe just taking one random number from here, and you bring out, okay, 2 from here, 8 from here, 21 from here, and yes, that is fine. That is something that covers for everybody here, everybody here, everybody here. But what we now want to do is those people that are now on the Bakassi Peninsula that we don't know if they're Nigerians or from Cameroon. That's where things usually hide most of the time. That's where things could go wrong most of the time. So that's where we do boundary value analysis. So the person that's probably going back to probably an input validation that we want to do. So somebody that has done 17th birthday. This person is older than 17, but he's not yet 18. You get now? So we're now testing to make sure that it's the validation is very strict, that it is, if you're not 18, you're not 18. We don't want to hear 17 and a half. We don't want to hear next month I'll be 18. If you're not 18, you're not 18. Period. Do you understand? So sometimes where the problem now is, maybe the person that did the logic did not cater for everything. Probably what he did was, if you are greater than 17, proceed. But we know that what we really want is equal to or greater than 18, right? But the person, once you are greater than 17, that means 17.5 should pass, 17.8 should pass. But in real sense, we know that that person is not yet 18. So that's your boundary value check for those guys. I keep using this Bakassi people. They are in the middle. Today they are Nigerians, tomorrow they are from Cameroon. So always check for those guys to make sure that logic covers is as strict as possible to make sure that, okay, if it's 18, 18 is what it is, not greater than 17. Greater than 17 can cover anything that is not 18. Like somebody will say the difference between 17 and 18 is infinity, because if we actually start checking the decimal places, that like the decimal numbers you can get in the middle is endless. So that is it for boundary value analysis. So what we do at this point is we put in, for such distance, we put in 4, put in something greater than 4, that kind of thing. So it's we could put in stuff from here onwards to this point, put in stuff from here onwards to this point. That's you testing your boundaries to make sure that the logic is right. Are we okay on that part? Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you very, very much. Okay. So I think the last thing that we have here is decision table testing. Decision table testing. So this one is going to be we're going to make this a little bit hands-on. So decision table testing. So how do I explain this right now? How do I explain this right now? So this is more like a table. This is a table with different input combinations, that kind of thing. How do I put it? Different input combinations, and I'm trying not to blow too much grammar. So in a situation where we have conditions, right? Where you have different conditions, you want to see all of them. It's easier to spot the conditions you are missing when you put them all on a table, right? Let's look at it from the point of how do we do it now? Let's do something very, very straightforward. So give me a minute. Let me insert the table. Let's say 4x3. If you don't use it, what's the next problem? So okay, so let's say for instance, I'm a child right now. And let's say it's raining. And let's say this is the weather. Sorry, that's the weather, that's raining. And homework. Okay. So this decision table right now, these are factors that we are looking at, and we'll now have what our outcome will be on the other end. So let's take, for instance, the answer for it's raining and it is, let's say it's true. And we have we done our homework? true. And add insert column to the right. So we have it's raining, true. So now then we have it's raining, false. Done our homework, false. Then it's raining, false. Done our homework. Looking at these, is there any combination that we've not covered? One true, true. When this is true, and this is true. When this is true and this is false. When this is false, this is false. When this is false and this is true. When this is true, yeah. So we've covered all of them, right? And the outcome. So raining when we have bad weather, and if this is true, and we've done our homework, we can't go out to play. Right? Then if this is true, weather is bad, and we have not done our homework. You're not going anywhere. Weather is bad, right? But you've not done your homework. You're still not going anywhere. So weather is bad, false. You've not done your homework. You're not going anywhere. But weather is bad, false, and you've done your homework. That's the only time that you're allowed to go out and play. I don't know if this is making sense to us at the moment. So do we understand what I just did here? Okay, great, good. So let's take it down to let's say let's try something different. So let's say we have username, we have password, right? When our username and password is correct, you have access. When your username is correct and your password is wrong, you don't have access. When both of them are wrong, you don't have access. And when username is wrong and password is correct, you still do not have access. I think decision table is like the easiest thing that we've handled this evening. Does this make any sense? Great. So based on what we have here right now, based on what we have here right now, what do you guys think of using these to do the next thing that we have, hands-on writing test cases? Because I don't know if you see what I see, but this is one test case. This is another test case. This and that test case. This is another test case. I see what I'm saying. So in this case, so let me just quickly do this. I think my time's already up. This is 9 p.m. Before everybody starts sleeping in this call and start wondering what happened. So okay, I think I should use this a bit. So whoa, sorry about that. I think I put so we have depending, we can have um this thing, the conditions that must be met, have preconditions. We can have our input, we have our expected outcome, and no outcome or result, and we have our actual and add something like we say, we can add some self-counting status as of thing. So is that row below? So based on what we have here, let's see. Let's start from number 4. When your password, when your username is wrong and your password is correct, sorry. Sorry, that's a proper way to write this. Verify when username is wrong. This is format. Okay. So we can have our preconditions as you successfully gained access to the login screen, right? And so we have a wrong input and correct password, expected result, actual result, and the status. We know that this is definitely going to pass. This is definitely going to fail. This will fail. This will also fail. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give this as an assignment. I'm going to give this as an assignment. I'll give you a resource. Okay, I would drop a resource for our program manager to pass along to you. I'll drop it as an assignment and look at it and give me feedback. I think our time is already fast spent. I've already shot. This is 7 minutes past 9. So please, if you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. So we're going to okay. I think there's no other question, right? So I
Sir,
think
can
I'll
we get
hand
the
over
slide so that
to.
we'll use the slide? We could go through the slide one more time to see if we'd understand today's
Okay,
class.
okay, okay. That's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it together, give it to Thank God. Then he'll get it across to you guys. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
okay.
fine.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. And I will hand over to our meeting host is here. Wow, my madam, goodness, good evening. And I didn't know you were on the call all along. Welcome. So I'll hand over to goodness. Thank you very much. Sorry, is goodness there?
Okay, yes, I'm here. Good evening, Omar. Thank you so much. Can you hear me? My network is really bad.
Can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much. Sorry, I
Or
took extra time.
nah, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's just 9 minutes. Thanks a lot. All right, guys. So if you have questions, you can drop, and then later we'll forward to Omar, or maybe we'll add into our group chats. And also, he'll be sending us the assignments and the slide or the documents will get that across to us, and we'll also make this video available to us. All right, guys, good night and have a wonderful night rest. Remember, we'll have a class tomorrow. I think that's around 3 or so, or we'll send a reminder. Thank you so much, Omar. We really appreciate. Please, if you've not filled
Thank you very much.
your attendance, please kindly do that before we cut off the call. All right. Bye, guys.